Holla ballers and a brofist to you and to everybody who tunes in usually to Drama Time live on a Friday at 4 p.m. It has not only been a 3 a.m. Drama Time, a special edition that happened during the launch of The War Within, but this one is at 3 p.m. because exactly 1 hour from now, I'm going to be sitting down with Jesse Cox and Dodger for a little poddy podcast with the dudes to throw it all down. Although we're not allowed to talk about Dawn Trail. No talking about Dawn Trail because Dodger's not done it yet because she's playing Warframe and she's become addicted. And apparently that means we're not allowed to talk about Dawn Trail in her presence. Wah, wah, wah. But hopefully, fingers crossed, Mr. Jesse Cox will be live here in person at PG Towers in order to sit down with me and have a cuddle snuggle and talk about Dawn Trail and all those wonderful things. He's going to be over in the UK soon, so it should hopefully happen, but we shall see. We shall see. He's on a busy schedule. So, Drama Time! If you are first time, I imagine we might have some first timers to Drama here, or they've all abandoned ship because they thought we were changing game. One of those things happens on Twitch all the time. Drama Time! What is it? Well, from around the world, people who are behind the internet superhighway and have one of these, and they conceal themselves behind it, often behave in ways that are just not normal, not natural, not exactly the way they would act in real life. And it started as my own horrible stories, and now translates into you sharing your tales of woe and misery that happen out there in the internet. And you can send your stories to us at drama@preachgaming.com, because if you have played certainly MMOs for any period of time, you have undoubtedly encountered somebody a little bit strange, somebody a little bit odd, somebody who is taking you into a weird and wonderful way that you were very surprised by. And on top of that, I do want to announce, as it's still in its testing phase, and a massive, massive shout out to everybody who has been testing our brand new extension, which allows you to customize your own personality, your own wonderful things here on Twitch. It's not available everywhere else, but it does allow you to add your own images. So a lot of dogs, a lot of cats of people representing, along with some people who have obviously used it for trolling and some horrible things. But it is a wonderful tool, and any feedback and stuff is lovely as we move forward before it goes completely public to everybody else. But that's not why you're here right now. I have 4 stories in front of me as pre-read by our good Lady Bex. And it is... I'm sorry, Chris, I'm going to have to yoink the mouse off you because I've got to do the show while you're doing some stuff. The first one is... I'm a Noob. Noon. I'm a Noob. Which is no doubt a wonderful tale of somebody... my guess here, no names needed. Okay. No names needed. Here we go. Let's start with this. This is provided by our lovely Lady Bex. So she's recommended this one. Let's begin. Holla ballers and Mike the Poor. I have a story today of depravity and despair. Oh God. Of pain I wrought upon myself. This takes place in the grand old World of Warcraft, where degenerates abound, and I fucking love it. I want to tell you about why I was, and still am, the biggest noob. Not just a noob, a giant pile of giga noob. I'm not going to lie to you, audience. When I started WoW, as all of us did, I was a shitter. I was a real poor who had no girlfriend, no friends, outside of virtual ones, and no idea how to play anything other than the best class in the game. A hunter. Now, Mike, I know you hate us, but I was a buff, furry daddy. Yes, a big, buff, furry daddy. And that's why I wanted to be a hunter. Specifically, as no surprise, a worgen. As soon as I saw it, it looked amazing. I mean... And really, that's the only thing I cared about. Because, I'll be honest with you, ever since my uncle got me my first console, I realized I am shit at video games. I just really liked hanging out, looking like an animal with other people, I guess, without them judging me. Being a Worgen, no one could tell that I was a furry daddy. But back to me being a shitter. I was and still am. I firmly stand by the fact that clicking is the best. I have tried key binding, but it confuses me, and I end up pressing the wrong thing. I find it considerably easier to just hit whichever button lights up, and honestly, I think I am literally better at clicking than I am using keybinds for most players. You're just not. You'll just be better. You'll just be better. You can get really good at clicking, but you will just always be better keybinded. Always. Always. You'll just be better if you learn to keybind. Even if you are Johnny fucking on the spot with clicking, you'll be better if you keybind and get used to it and just play that way all the time. You'll just be better. I guess you'd say not much has changed. I started World of Warcraft in the best expansion, Shadowlands. Oh, fuck you. You're trolling me. Genuinely. I had tried WoW before this, but I, unlike most people, had the best time in Shadowlands. And for me, Shadowlands is the best expansion. That's right. I originally hail from the lands of Eorzea, where instead of being able to be a big fluffy Worgen boy, I was the Bis race Lalafell. I guess you could say I Lalafell in love with Lalas. Yeah, exactly. I Lalafell in love with Lalas. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is... Is this Olivia? I feel like I know who wrote this story. It is puntastic. Are you a furry, Olivia? It was also during FF14 that I realized that I had a furry soul. I started WoW back in the Shadowlands as a break from Eorzea, and I honestly didn't mind it. I love Covenants. I mean that genuinely. I loved that it was a meaningful choice that told me more about my character. I didn't want to be a sultry vampire baddie. I didn't want to be a baby-faced uwu mommy. I loved the light so much that I was going to marry Kyrian. I didn't want to be a fugly, piss-stinking pleb like the Necrolords. There was only one choice for me. The fairies. Night Fae. As I said, I was a hunter. And I loved changing my pet to match my glam. I didn't really care what pet was Bis. When other people were thinking, what would our Lord and Saviour Roger Brown do? I was thinking, I hope this makes me look as delicious as a Greg's steak bake. This is Olivia. I don't want to read this line. I don't want to read this line. I will tell you though, Mike, I fucking love beans in my mouth. I just thought you should know that I think it's disrespectful that you hated the beans. Now, getting back to WoW. My pets were very important to me, even though I hate animals. In real life, because I'm allergic to anything pleasant, except their fur. Wait, you're a furry who hates animals? I know, Mike, I'm a sick freak. I get it. I had some great battle pets too. I had several cats. I'm a cat daddy. I love their little whiskers and their cute little paws and the way they go meow, meow, meow. My pet was often a dog though. I had several dogs, but I don't know how to use them very well because every time I see a dog, it dies. I just keep killing dogs. Who wrote this? If this is Olivia, it's not my fault. It's just that every dog in my presence is guaranteed to die. It could be any mob. I just look at my pet before the fight and say, yep, that dog is dead. My favorite dog was called Greg, though. Oh, Greg's the dog. He was great when he wasn't dead. I fucking love Greg's bark and the way he matches my I'm wearing Speedos and nothing else outfit. He's the exact same colour as my Speedo Worgen Mog. The one thing that would really make my life complete, though, was a rat pet. I love rats. They're the best animal ever. And even I, the dog killer, and couldn't kill a rat. They have these long tails, massive whiskers and eyes that say, don't fuck with rats. I love their little claws too. If I'm honest, I love feet. Okay. Okay. Ha ha ha. I can't get enough of how long it must have taken somebody to model all those little toes in. I just love feet. I'm not about to say I love sniffing feet. I have an OnlyFans dedicated to feet. But I appreciate them, you know? I'm still playing WoW because FF14 is a weeb game. And then I'm off to Rogue Trader. I'm going to shit on the Emperor. Long live Chaos. This is a note from Bex. Thanks for reading all this so chat could clip you saying a load of things out of context. Fuck you, clown. There it is. Okay. There it is. Okay. Very fucking funny. Look, Bex. Bex. People send real fucking stories into here, having you fucking set this shit about and like try and drag me in. I assume, Bex, don't make me... Your job is to pre-read these stories so I can have the authentic experience and improv a little bit and do my thing. And now you're making it so I have to now pre-read them again at the same time. You're twisting it up. Right, we're moving on. Well, I mean, cancel the headset or what? I am not typing anything. Oh, God. Hold on. Right, okay. Hilarious, hilarious. I can't wait to see what goes on. Fartles is in. Brooksy. Case. Kennethal. Get in here. All right. This one seems a little spicy for me. I assume this is genuine. The 50 Shades of Shadowlands. All right. For our wonderful live audience, we need a guild name. It has no context as to what this guild name is. So have at it. We need just a guild name of a guild that exists. A guild. The schedule. The Happy Critters, the Bean Eaters, the Lynxers, Foot Lovers United. Oh my god. Cheese Guild, I Love Feet, Wrath of Angels, the Shady Kittens, the Furry Feet, the Toe Lover, the Zalitos. Alright, we'll go with the Zalitos. I like it. The Zalitos. Let's go with Zalitos. I like it. Alright. Hopefully this isn't influenced by Bex. Mikey and the well-adjusted and fair chat. It's been a while since I submitted a drama story to you. I won't get specific, but in the end, you did not find me guilty. See, I am a fair and just judge. Your chat, however, did. At least partially. For what it's worth, I agree with their judgment, and I'll leave it at that. I've always had a little bit of a problem with being an elitist. Then again, I would expect this to be true of many MMO gamers. Either way, my elitism aside, that's not what this is about today. Today, I want to take you to a place in World of Warcraft. It was during, of course, the infamous expansion known as the Shadowlands. This is a story of a couple I met in a heroic... Oh god, a couple-led heroic raiding guild. Okay, nice start. This is the tale of a couple that I met in a heroic raiding guild I was in at the time, called the Zalitos. Now, Mikey, I know people always say this, but Zalitos is a little bit of a special guild. The guild was formed during Wrath of the Lich King. It has changed hands of ownership many times and gone through many, many phases. Allegedly, as the story goes, it started out as some sort of roleplay light raiding. But as time went on, it largely lost every single drop of its role-playing history. But because of its old-timey roots, there are some quirks that make this guild a little different in modern context. First, the Xalitos still, in 2024, requires you to make a written application post on their guild forums. You know, it just dawns on me, I have no idea how you apply for a guild in 2024. I don't know how that works. Like, how do you apply if you don't write in? How do you let them know? How does that happen? Ironforge.gg, Discord, but I mean, surely you have to write something about who you are and where'd you come from and all that kind of, I'm about to find out. Okay. Mike, just because this was a normal thing in 2008 and the guild leadership are sticklers for tradition, there are about 400 completely inactive members and alts that on this list have not logged into the game for 11 years. That's really sad. That's like a cemetery. Jesus Christ. Their characters aren't removed because the leaders want them to have a place to call home should they ever return to the game. Oh, that's quite nice. I like that, actually. The problem is, this has caused us guild member limit problems. It restricts the amount of alts we're allowed to bring into the guild for the active players. Oh, that's really sad. Yeah, you can't do that. No, sorry, you can't have a place in the guild on your currently playing active alt because we've got a place for this 11-year-old player. Like, that is really tragic. You can't do that. Also, this is not that weird, but the guild's average age is over 47 and has many quirky characters. If you joined a guild where the average age was over 47, you would just kind of dip, right? I mean, even when I get to 47, if the average age was 47, I think I'm out. Yeah, I think I'm out in that. Oh, Olivia's here. I'm sorry for suggesting you might be a furry. Unless that's not a, you know, unless you are, in which case you do you. It's also home to a semi-popular streamer whose name I won't mention, whose presence is currently the main draw for new members and has been since at least BFA. No, it won't be me. I'm not running a guild or anything like that. No, I wasn't running a guild in Shadowlands either. I'm not in Stark. I wasn't in Stark in Shadowlands. The guild I'm talking about has been featured in Drama Time in the past, and it has 3 Discord servers. What? Server number 1 is the official guild Discord, where all the official guild stuff goes. We then have a second unofficial guild server, where people can talk about things not related to WoW, and where they can organize Mythic Plus communication. Why? I don't know. I don't know. These people do these things to try and keep things clean. Do you not remember when guilds were like, no alts? We'll make an alt guild. So this guild is just the mains. Then there's another guild, which is like the alts and all that kind of stuff. And we'll communicate via this and all this. Like, this was a thing in like TBC, is people wanted like these nice, clean guilds. Everybody had a specific rank and all that kind of... It's like, no one fucking cares, dude. We then have a third Discord. This Discord is for literally every member in the guild except for one hunter. Now, Mike, as you can tell, the guild was a bit of a circus. But most of the people that were active were nice. And I really do genuinely mean that. I've been in many guilds since, and despite the occasional strange things, I haven't been in a generally more mature and kind environment in all of WoW. Now, in the guild, there are also a bunch of want-to-be streamers with small audiences, who rely on raids from the one semi-popular streamer to make them make it. One of these people was Razor, an arcane mage one-trick gamer. Razor had ambitions that he would tell us about in every aspect of WoW gameplay. He would tell you he is a hardcore heroic raider. Okay. A hardcore heroic raider. Alright. Push it to the limit. A hardcore mythic plus key pusher, but also a hardcore PvPer. This guy's pretty hardcore when you think about it. I mean, rock solid. Now, as you might imagine, Mike, it comes as no surprise, he isn't particularly good in any of these areas. Razor's interest in PvP was so large that he would organize not one, but 2 separate RBG groups in the first season of Shadowlands. Now, PvP was a really solid source of gearing at the time, and a well-organized group could easily farm enough rating to get the seasonal Vicious mount pretty quickly. I thought it sounded like fun, so I decided, for the sake of the mount, that I would join one of these rated battleground groups. The first group did rated battlegrounds on Wednesdays and Mondays. The second group did RBGs on Saturdays and Tuesdays. I joined Team 2 and was happy to see a few familiar faces when the group was formed. There was Virillium, a friendly guy who was the raid team's main tank and guild master. Fartles, one of the guild officers, as well as being a real blaster. And there was Brooksy. Now, guys, I hadn't played much with Brooksy, but he was nice when he talked in the guild chat. He was a resto druid at the time, and as we were preparing for our first go at RBGs, I noticed his gear was not terrible. It wasn't good, but not fresh off the boat. Not awful. Just average. The average item level of someone who didn't really go up in Mythic Plus, didn't really do heroic raids, a little bit of conquest gear, some high-end questing blues. I think his average item level at the time was around 190. Either way, it wasn't an issue. It annoyed me a bit because I was told we needed a high item level for the group, but I kept it to myself because it was made clear that the bar for joining these groups was still pretty low, and the first few RBG nights were spent on getting people fully conquest geared anyway. So, fair dues, Brooksy turned out to be pretty good at healing. He knew to stay behind the group, not to get targeted because of his role and bad item level. Razor was a bit of a PvP fucking moron. He would come up with what he described as out-of-pocket strategies. He said he had a brain for battlegrounds and strategy and could see things before they would take place. Wow. I will admit, sometimes it worked, but most of the time it didn't. And as we were just having fun, as the description of the group was, and getting our basic gear, it's all good, whatever. Virillium was surprisingly good at PvP tanking, and Fartles was his usual blaster self. There were of course others in our group, but they're not people we particularly remember. So, here we are. A couple of weeks have passed. Our group's gear got better. Everything was going swimmingly. But then something happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I got an uncomfortable glimpse behind the curtain. Remember, Razor wasn't running just one RBG group. He was running 2. His mage was in the other group. But since he was the organizer of both groups and played a healer in ours, it didn't bother us. We assumed the teams were ultimately pretty equal in skill and priority for Razor, otherwise why would you run 2? We of course assumed very fucking wrong. It's Monday evening. RBG Group 1 had an absence. So I get a message in the pink from Razor. Did I want to join Group 1 for the night? I had nothing to do. It was Shadowlands after all. So it was either this or kill myself. So I said, okay. I recognized many of this group's members as the guild's raid team. As I joined, I was greeted happily and with cheers. Ahoy! Welcome! And so on and so forth. The first sign that something was different here was when someone said, all right, let's get your rating up so we can push. Because we're going to push. Nothing like this had ever happened in Group 2, and I wondered what they meant. My rating was a respectable 1200, if I remember correctly. It's pretty low, but we'd only been doing RBGs for a couple of weeks to grab that early gear. I checked, and this group's rating was about 1500. A pretty significant increase. As the game started, I noticed things were a little different here. It wasn't just Razor organising silly strategies. People were analysing the opposing team, checking their profiles on Raider.io, and strategizing without him. I started getting weird assignments. I was assigned with a group of people to go somewhere, so I followed along. These strategies weren't silly. They weren't funny. These guys were dead fucking serious. These were real strats. This group was sweaty and serious, and they wanted to push that rating really hard. After multiple victories and a couple of close defeats, the night ended with my rating in the 1400s and the rest of the group nearly at 16. The people thanked me again. Nice mate, did good job. And as the raid group disbanded, I was left on my own, struggling to realise, why was this group so different? The following day, it was Team 2's night, which I joined, and we were back to the silly, goofy, no can do wrong, casual, friendly strategies. The message in the chat, of course, was the same. Let's all have fun, ladies and gentlemen. But I wasn't having fun. I had seen what organisation could do. I had seen people work together. I had seen people try. I had been a part of people doing well. I had seen what the grass was like on the other side. And that grass wasn't just a bit greener. It was just better grass. I couldn't play with the pause anymore. I stuck around since that's the best I could do. I held on to hope that once everyone got their gear, maybe we would be like that team. Maybe once we got gear, then we'll start taking it serious. Maybe once we actually get good, we can work together and push our rating. I actively brought the lower geared players like the Resto Druid Buxy to Mythic Plus to help him get items. I needed to get back up there. I was invested. I needed to do whatever I could do to get back into Group 1. About a week passed since we were once again prepared for a night of silly, casual fun when Razor joined the group. We were 9 out of 10 present in the group. I quickly looked over the group and realised that our boy Bruxy wasn't here. Bruxy wasn't on Discord either. Razor explained that he'd spoke to him and he'd be a couple of minutes late, and true to that, 2 minutes past start time, Bruxy joined the Discord and then the raid team. But then Bruxy joined the group on a priest. I had never seen this character before in my life. Bruxy, why are you joining on this? Before I could ask the question, Razor explained to that one of the healers from Group 1 had to stop playing. So Bruxy was their replacement. Bruxy was going to play in both groups. So his geared, that I had geared, Druid, was taken to the good group. And we were going to gear his fresh Holy Priest. I checked the item level of this priest. 163. With 0 rating. Way, way lower than the Druid. I had put so much time into his Druid character just to get him gear. There was no way we were going to get any rating tonight. I was frustrated and I had to say something. It came out of me. Is this a joke? No response. A few seconds that obviously felt much longer at the time, ladies and gentlemen, passed and Razor started laughing. Is what a joke? Why is Bruxy on a fresh alt priest with us? If you needed him to heal group 1, can't you bring his priest there instead of taking away our best geared healer? Silence again. Razor then keyed up, pretended not to realise that we had obviously clocked as to what was happening. I don't understand. What's the problem? I didn't have enough pull in the guild to change things or do anything more than have a little tantrum, but Fartles? Fartles did. It seems to us like you're using our group as a feeder for the other group. We've all put effort into gearing up Brooksy's druid, and the second he was high geared enough, you have yoinked him to the other group. Brooksy, of course, then attempted to defend Razor by saying, guys, I'm still playing with you. Gear isn't that big of a deal. I'm still the same player. After a couple more comments from other people in the group generally echoing Fartles' take, there was an extended silence. I could tell. We could almost hear over Discord Razor's brain spinning of how he was going to repair this. Before he could, though, Brooksy left the group. Soon after that, Razor keyed up. Hey guys, Brooksy isn't feeling too well, so he's going to have to skip tonight, which means we haven't got a full team. So let's just not do RBGs for this evening, okay? That's great, all right? Let's hope Brooksy feels better soon. As soon as he'd finished speaking, he disbanded the group. Verillium then re-invited me to a different group. We were then joined by Fartles and the guild leader, Case. As Verillium said, M+, let's roll. I did feel bad for Brooksy, so I sent him a Discord message, apologising if I seemed hostile and explained that I had no ill feelings towards him as a person, but Razor clearly had set this group up just to gear people up for his main group, and he had got caught in the middle. Brooksy said he didn't want to hear from me right now. I don't want to hear from... What a mature response. I don't want to hear words from you right now. Yeah, I don't want to hear from you. He said he was physically shaking IRL. And if he was to hear from me, Razor, or anyone else, he would probably black out in rage. I think Brooksy might have a problem. Oh, blackout in rage. Mate, you don't even know, mate. You don't even know. No, I don't know how to fight. I've never been to a class in my life, but when I get angry, though, I just fucking lose it, mate. It all goes like black, and then I wake up and there's blood and shit everywhere. I swear to you, mate. I swear, if some fucking, like, cage fighter came up to me, mate, and started talking mad noise, I'd just lose it and fucking smash everybody up. Do you know what I mean? Just wake up in like you don't even know, mate. When I lose it, it's crazy. So we're rocking the M+, right? Case asked me if I caused some shit with Brooksy. Case said that he's just had a DM from Brooksy saying that I have been disrespectful and giving him peer pressure. But Brooksy had been pretty vague about actually what I had done. The classic. Okay, I understand how you're feeling. What exactly did he do? It's not important. No, it is. If you're going to accuse somebody of something, I need to know exactly what they did that caused this. No, it's not about that. It's just about, I just feel like it's fucked up, you know what I mean? So, of course, we're chilling in M+, right? And so we just start shooting the shit about, look, we were doing the rated battlegrounds. I even sent him a picture saying, look, I apologise to Brooksy because it was nothing to do with him, really. It was just the way our group was being treated. Case simply said, all right, whatever. Nice. Guildmaster of the Century. All right. But the next day, my friends, the very next day, Razor announced that he has come to the difficult decision because of the pressures and the time constraints IRL to disband Group 2. He said the commitment was causing him headaches, which is probably accurate considering he was trying to push high keys and raid alongside managing 2 rated BGs while also starting his budding streamer career. I was, of course, sour. I really wanted the mount, and he soured towards me. I wasn't the only person to give him shit either, but I know I did start it. Either way, Brooksy stuck around in the guild and did RBGs for a few weeks with the main group until they hit a wall, realised they were dog shit compared to the higher end, and disbanded as well. Ah, shit. We were really good at 1600, but fuck me. 1650, oh shit. Now it's bad. I was still wondering what Brooksy's comments about me disrespecting him were about, though. I'll be honest with you guys, it bothered me for a long time because I never really got an answer. So, let's shift gears a little bit. I promise to you all listening right now, this all circles back together. But it won't be clear how at first. Shadowlands, the first major patch that was definitely going to rescue this entire expansion, was Korthia and the Sanctum of Domination. Round of applause. We all remember that day Korthia came out, don't we? And all our opinions changed and we were saved and we were rescued. You remember? Wasn't it wonderful? Oh yeah, we were all rescued. What a pit we climbed out of. Yeah. So good. Do you not remember the Domination gems? They were fun. They were really cool. You remember? Oh, they were so good. And then, shortly after the Sanctum of Domination, came the Blizzard lawsuit and the exodus of WoW players who went to seek the greener pastures of other MMOs. Now, I told you earlier, our guild was old. Full of the old, with that average age of 47, and moved along. We had a good amount of active players, and the guild stayed active for the majority of the patch, as it always had done since Wrath of the Lich King. However, one of the guild members, a social member by the name of Kennethal, was vocally advertising in the guild chat about the free-to-play Final Fantasy XIV experience. He would post the pasta in all 3 of the guild Discord servers almost hourly. We can all remember. He would explain about the critically acclaimed MMORPG as if he was a literal little bot. There was even an official branch of the Xalitos that now existed in Final Fantasy XIV. Apparently it was on some data center. Question mark, is that the word you use? Sure. Sure. We just got to say servers. There you go. Kennethal was one of those wannabe streamers as well, riding on the coattails of this one popular streamer in the guild. As a supportive member of the community, I'd of course followed his Twitch stream, which was kind of the requirements of being in the guild at all. Oh no. Ew! Ew! If you join the guild, we would really like it if you would give everybody's stream a follow. Oh, no. Ew. Oh, that is rank. That is really dirty. That is gross. Yeah, that is big ooh energy. That is big ooh energy. Hard pass on that one. Ooh. It wasn't a guild requirement, but you were considered to not be a good social member if you didn't do it. Of course, that meant that I could see when he was streaming. And he was streaming Final Fantasy to 2 viewers on the regular. Oh, don't mock people's viewer count. We all came from somewhere. I, of course, didn't watch the streams, though, since that weird weeb game was not for me. But one night, after all the spam, I cracked. And I tried out FF14's free trial. Mike, like you, I'm not a big fan of anime or manga, and I'm afraid that the style of 14 was not for me. I was consistently annoyed by things. The lack of swimming. I should have waited. Invisible walls, piss-poor jumping physics, and surprisingly, I really hated the community. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I decided that the character I most like was a human Highlander. I had been playing the game for less than 7 minutes after the end of the first cutscene until somebody passing by called me a Thylander. I assumed that this was a weird fetish thing, so I deleted the character and made a Lala instead. mean, that is out of the fucking frying pan and into the fire is what that is. That's not a good move. That's a bad... If Thaïlander's going to cause you problems, that's not going to work. Yeah, that's a bad move. Now, I'll tell you this, Mike. Although people randomly walking past me in the cities would stop and call me a cute little potato, and I thought it was the most cringe and annoying thing ever, it didn't repulse me physically, so I stuck around with my Lala for a while. Wait, Thaïlander drove you away, but being called a cutie little potato didn't? Really? That is a weird line that you won't cross. That's very strange. I thought Arel Reborn fucking sucked. The cutscenes were really long and inconsequential. I had no idea what was going on in the story, and I was just not feeling this game at all. I was streaming my gameplay to a few of the guildies, though I doubt any of them were actively watching, as it was included in the guild that if you are available, is just to stick the stream on to boost viewer count. Oh my god. This is wretched. This is wretched. It was at this point, though, when Kennethal joined the Discord chat. Hey! You're trying FF14? And you're a Lala, a little potato! Yeah. Gotta be honest, I'm not really feeling this game so far, though. Don't worry! It gets really good really fast. The start is a bit slow, but when you get to Heaven's Ward, you can't stop! I tried to change the conversation and we moved on to talk about different things as I played. Kennethal was being overly cheery as explained how important the game had become to his whole life. I simply sat there going through the motions of fetch quests, moving back and forth between locations. It seemed to me that Final Fantasy XIV was a talking simulator. Nearly every quest I did was to go somewhere and talk to someone and then teleport back to talk to someone else. Ah, good times. Good times. Hey, pray return, baby. Pray return to a realm reborn. Pray return. Classic. Absolute classic. I was getting a little frustrated with all this back and forth. I wasn't killing anything and I was getting annoyed. So I did something. I did something bad, Mike. I did something really bad while Kennethal was watching my stream. I committed the cardinal sin. I was watching another dumb fucking cutscene of some fucking character going on about some fucking thing he'd heard with some sweaty strangers, and to be honest, I was so zoned out and bored of watching this shit. I had no idea what the fuck they were talking about. Kennethal was constantly yapping in my fucking ear above the game, so I clicked escape and skipped the cutscene. Kennethal immediately stopped talking. Based. Kennethal immediately stopped talking. It took about 30 seconds, but then Kennethal said, "Sorry guys, I have to go," and left. Now, Mike, here is where it got really weird. About 3 hours later, the Guildmaster Case sent me a Discord message. Apparently, Kennethal had joined a Discord call he was on and vented about how disrespectful I was being to him personally. I didn't know what he was talking about, so I explained Brooksy. So I just explained Brooksy by Brooksy, what had happened in the other Discord server, similar to what I'd done before. After I told him that I quit after I skipped a cutscene, Case simply replied, "Oh, that's what it was." That game is very important to him and his social growth. I said, I don't understand. He said, skipping cutscenes is very offensive to him. The only reply I could think of to this was, I don't really like that game. You know what? It's alright. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. It's not funny. Mike, I am sorry to say, following this moment, I have never touched FF14 again. That's all right, kid. That's all right. But you should. It gets really, really good. It does. It's not just saying that. It does get really, really, really good. Just letting you know. A Realm Reborn's a rough ride. It's a rough ride to get there. But it does. I can vouch for that. It does get exceptionally good. Now, earlier I told you this was the story of a couple, of course. A couple where I disrespected both of them on an individual level. Mike, one thing I've been keeping from you until now, Brooksy and Kennethal were boyfriends. And both of them now had gone to case after I had disrespected them. And both of the times that they had approached case about issues with me, those issues have been hand-waved away. When I said Razor had transferred Brooksy's good character to the other group and replaced him with a poorly geared priest, and when I skipped a cutscene in a video game which is super important to Kennethal's social growth, I had created mortal enemies of both of these men. In the future patches of Shadowlands, I did play with both of them occasionally, but both of them wouldn't speak to me and would leave the group as soon as possible. Was what I did that bad? This is, of course, just my version of the events, and I am trying to think about these things from their perspectives, but even as I do, I just don't fucking get it. I couldn't in good faith sit by and say nothing while Razor was abusing our group as a feeder guild. I couldn't care enough about Final Fantasy to not skip their early fucking boring cutscenes. I would do both of these things again in a heartbeat. And I struggled to think what else I could have done to make Brooksy and Kennethal more comfortable in these situations. Both of them later became what they described and had their guild ranks changed to ultra casuals. I demand a change of title within the guild to ultra casual, who only occasionally played WoW, and I haven't talked to them since. I would require the judgment of the court here. Thank you for reading my story. I hope it wasn't too long or disjointed. I just had these memories of Shadowlands that didn't seem significant at the time, but now I can appreciate the drama involved in them. While the war within is just starting, and after a semi-successful mythic raiding career in Dragonflight, I'm thinking of going back. I'm thinking of returning to the Xalitos. They're still alive and still active. And who knows, maybe they'll have some more stories for me. I declare you not guilty. No, you're not guilty. You're fine. You're fine. You did the right thing in both occasions. Like, why? Yeah, innocence. There we go. We have an innocent emo. It's not showing up on the drama chat, I assume, because we haven't got the extension on the new stream PC. Oh, replaced stream PC, so to say. But innocent, as you can see, being spammed by our chat. No, there are... Look. We've all been there, haven't we? Where we meet someone in the online world, and it's the right place where some people are not super well adjusted, and get overly invested in things, but they're safe and it's fine. It's not a big deal. Don't let it get you down. It's not that purpose. It's all good. It's all good. It's fine. It's totally fine. It happens. Don't take it personally. I don't. That's my rule, is I don't take anything personally, and it's not necessary. You did the right thing. You have to call out bullshit when you smell bullshit. If it sniffs like bullshit, it smells like bullshit. We don't really have time for one more because we are going to be jumping in with Jesse Cox and Dodger. I can